In this video today, I'm going to show you how I made this necklace and earring set using a technique that is new to me. It's using UV resin, and so let's begin. And the items we're going to need for this is we're going to need some UV resin. I'm using the Let's Resin UV resin. This is for hard type. I have 3 open back charms and also some little silver seahorse charms. I'm going to be using some Nouveau Pure Sheen glitter, nitrile gloves, stirring sticks, some silicone mixing cups, a UV light, packing tape, and some tweezers. Okay, now I've taken a piece of packing tape here. I'm also working on a silicone mat, which will help with the cleanup. So I'm going to fold over each end so that I have a little piece of tape that isn't sticky. Then I'm going to put this down on my work surface, and I'm putting it down with the sticky side up. And then I'm just going to place my charms on here. And to make sure these are stuck to the tape really well, I'm just going to put one of my acrylic blocks that I use for stamping and then just press down. Okay, then I'm going to add a little glitter using just a little spoon, and I'm going to add a couple of scoops of this glitter to this little silicone mixing cup. Okay, I've put on my nitrile gloves, and now I'm going to just put in some of this UV resin. Just a bunch of it. I want to make sure that I'm going to have enough to finish the entire, all 3 charms. And then I'm going to just mix it up with a popsicle stick. Okay, and now I'm just going to take this and pour it into each of the cavities of the charm. And I'm going to use a little Teflon tool that I have here to just kind of spread this. Okay, now I'm going to take a lighter and just go over this to pop any bubbles that might be in there. Okay, now I'm going to put my leftover resin out of the way, and then I am going to bring in my UV light, and I'm going to cure this now for a couple of 99 seconds. Okay, and so now these are hard. So I'm going to turn these around so that they're right side up now. And now I have my little charms. And I'm going to place them where they are going to go. Okay, and now I'm going to take my UV resin and I am going to put a clear coat on top. Okay, now I am going to remove these. First of all, I'm going to take my gloves off. And I will remove these from the tape. And I found the tape was really too sticky and the resin had not quite completely cured. And so the resin itself was sticky. All right, these are still slightly tacky, so I'm going to give them a couple more sessions. Okay, that's still a little tacky, so I'm going to give it a couple more sessions. Okay, it is still a little teeny tiny bit tacky, but not too bad. Now the backs are sticky because of the tape, so I'm going to turn them over because I got some residue from the tape. And so what I'm going to do for the back is I'm just going to put a thin layer of the clear UV resin over this. Okay, they're just a teeny tiny bit more tacky. And so I have this UV flashlight that I'm going to use to see if I can do the final curing of these. All right, these are the finished product, but I got some fingerprints on this middle one when I was handling it while it was still tacky. So I am just going to take this middle one and put a very thin coat of one more layer on this. Okay. And I'm not going to handle this with my fingers. What I'm going to do to finish curing these, I am going to put them out in the sun for a little bit and let them finish curing out in the sun. Okay, I have some resin left over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another one in this little mold right here. Okay, I put my gloves back on, and this is my leftover glittered resin. So I am going to stir this up. And then I'm going to pour it into this mold. Okay, now I cured the resin in here to make it easier. All I have to do is break it up and then just clean out the cured resin in here. Now I'm going to take I have a little teeny tiny bit of the clear resin in here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put this on top. The little bit I have in here. Okay, and I'm going to put the UV light on this just for a second to start it curing, to make it a little tacky. And then I am going to put in my charms. And then I'm going to pour just a little bit of resin on top of this. All right. And still a little tacky, and so I'm going to also take this outside and let it cure in the sun for a bit. Okay, it was curing out in the sun for a bit, so now I'm going to remove it from the mold. And let's see, I have a teeny tiny bit of overspill, so I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut off those little blobs of overfill. And here's this one. I don't know how well you can see it. Now I'm going to put a little dome on the top, a dome of resin on the top. Okay, got my nitrile gloves on, and let's zoom in a bit here. Okay, and then I'm going to take my UV resin and just put a little blob of it here. And I'm going to be careful not to block my hole, the little hole in here. So I'm going to spread this out to the edges. All right, once again, I'm going to take this out and let it also finish its curing out in the sun. Okay, and I'm just shining my light, a UV light here, over anything that has wet resin on to dry it, so it'll make it easier to clean. Alrighty, and now I am going to put the findings on these things. Okay, finally got all the findings on, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I just kind of reshaped this to make it fit better around the hole. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.